friends. I'm your host, Erin Port, and welcome to the Simple Purposeful Living podcast. Life can be overwhelming and busy, so once a week, I invite you to join me, and together we will make simple tweaks to uncomplicate the hard parts of our life so we can spend more time doing what we love. Welcome back to the Simple Purposeful Living podcast. We were on spring break, we came back, and in that process, every spring activity has started. Around here, we have baseball, two are in track. Of course, we still have dance and dance competition, not to mention youth group and a couples Bible study we host in our home every week. And so literally, when I pull out my weekly plan notepad, by the way, the best thing that keeps us all on the same page, and I start sketching out our week, my eyes start to bug out about what I'm even going to feed my family, when I'm going to feed my family, and where I'm going to feed my family, right? And I'm guessing I'm not in the boat by myself. I'm guessing a few of you are also probably driving around a carpool or a kid or maybe a coveted quiet car for a moment, and you're also wondering, how am I going to feed my family this week? Or maybe take me back a couple of years, when the weather turned nice, I didn't want to be inside. We'd spend the entire afternoon outside blowing bubbles, playing with friends. I had two rocking chairs that sat in front of my driveway, and I always sat in one, and a neighbor would often come and sit in the other one, and we'd chat until Scott pulled into the driveway. The kids would clamor into the car. They'd help Scott pull into their garage, and then it was time to cook dinner, and we didn't have a lot of time. So these meals work if you're eating at home, if you're eating on the go, if you have young kids, if you have old kids, if you have picky kids. These are Picky Kid approved. I'm sharing 14 of my own ideas. Well, I mean, are they really ever your own inspirational ideas? And then 6 that you guys submitted on Instagram. So if you're not following Simple Purposeful Living on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook, this is your plug to do that. And I just want to give another plug because feeding your family instantly becomes easier when you use our best-selling 52-week meal planner. This is our bestseller for a reason, and you can now get it on Amazon. Yes, 4 of our products are on Amazon. So I'm going to put the link in our show notes to go grab that. But just a spoiler, they're all on Amazon, and instantly it will make mealtime so much easier if you spend a few minutes up front at the beginning of the week planning out a simple meal plan. It does not have to be fancy to feed your family, and then going forward. So I hope these 14 ideas plus 6 more, so 20 total, will be on heavy rotation in your house this spring. I'm also making a printable because honestly, after you listen to this podcast, I don't know about you, but my brain can only contain so much information. So I have a little printable with all of these ideas that you can also get at the show notes below. Okay. Let's get started and simplify easy dinner time this spring together. All right, number 1, salad kit and rotisserie chicken wraps. This is so versatile that if you put this on your meal plan every single week, you could probably make multiple that would never taste the same, and your family would love them. So, salad kit, any type of salad kit. Usually my go-to is a Caesar salad kit because my family loves Caesar salad, and a rotisserie chicken. I always get it at Costco. So you can pick all of this stuff up at Costco, by the way. Just add it to your meal plan or grocery list. But you could do a Thai salad kit. You could do a Chinese salad kit. You could do the Buffalo Ranch salad kit. Any type of salad kit you want to mix together, put rotisserie chicken. If you have picky eaters, here's what I do. I don't put the salad on the little two. They just don't love it. Actually, that's not true. Quincy loves salad. Lucille, not so much. So for her, I just do rotisserie chicken, a little smear of mayo, and some shredded cheese. Easy peasy. Roll it up, and her wrap is done. But for everybody else, I just mix up the salad kit, put in the rotisserie chicken, roll it up, and then I will talk about how I keep things from getting soggy, hot and cold, and all of those things in a minute. But wrapped, it's so easy. Bagged salad kit, rotisserie chicken, or you could do any kind of meat if you wanted to, and a wrap. Piece of cake. Again, you can make it in as many combinations as you want. Number 2, salad jars. Now, some of my kids would love this, some of them wouldn't, but here's the thing. I'm going to throw out a bunch of ideas because I know picky eaters aren't all created equal, and salad kits might work really well for you. You could also do a taco salad kit. I think I could get my kids to buy in on this if I gave them a bag of Doritos or some tortilla chips to put on top, because basically then it's like a walking taco. But basically you just put the lettuce in, your protein, any vegetables, and then on a side, you go ahead and just bring along, I love these little plastic dipping containers. Literally, you can get them at the Dollar Tree. You can order them off Amazon. They're simply A little tiny disposable condiment container with a lid, perfect for this time of year. You can put in ketchup, you can put mayo, you can put ranch in them. They're just perfect for on the go and having them in your stock and storehouse. But salad jars, perfect. And this is one of those situations where maybe you do need to buy a few to-go containers to have on hand. But again, you could think like to-go containers that you see at a restaurant where maybe you could rewash them and reuse them with a bowl with a lid. It doesn't have to be a jar. Just an FYI. Okay, number 3, egg muffins. These are perfect for breakfast or lunch as well. I like to make these ahead on the weekend and then just warm them up in the microwave. But basically, you just mix up a whole bunch of scrambled eggs. You spray your muffin pan, then pour the eggs in to about halfway full. Then add in any kind of cheese or protein that you want, and you could even do some sautéed vegetables, and you have your very own egg muffins. These might be very similar to like the egg bites that you see at Costco or at Starbucks, but they're perfect. Take a couple on the road. You can keep them warm. I'll talk about that in a minute, but egg muffins, perfect for breakfast, for dinner, on the go. Number 4, breakfast sandwiches on English muffins. Now, if you're getting a hint that I'm taking a lot of inspiration from fast food restaurants, you are correct. That is one of my favorite life hacks is when you're at a restaurant, when you're at a fast food restaurant, say to yourself, if they can serve it on the go, so can I. And that just allows us the freedom of being inspired wherever we are. So I always say Jimmy John's and Subway has made their whole livelihood on making sandwiches. I don't know why us moms feel so guilty about having a sandwich night. I don't know why. I just don't. I don't know. But egg sandwiches are perfect. So again, same idea. If you want to go ahead and just make a bunch of scrambled eggs ahead of time, you can even cook them and cut them up and then put them on the egg sandwich or on the English muffin, freezer flat sausages or bacon and a slice of cheese. You wrap them up in some tin foil in a freezer bag. You can pull them out, warm them up in the oven, and you have them ready to go. So you can even make these ahead of time. They're perfect for on the go. Breakfast sandwiches. Number 5 is pancake dippers. Okay, I got this idea actually from my kids who implemented this themselves. So we actually got this little box. It's not little. We got it at Costco. So it's a big box of these Belgian pancake puffs. Say that 5 times fast. And I'm showing on YouTube what it looks like, but think of like the size of a silver dollar. That's what they are, and they're kind of puffy. If you are Dutch, you might think of poffertjes if you've ever had those. They're like a puffy little pancake. My kids love them, and they've been taking them in their lunch boxes, and they're actually eating them cold. FYI, kids don't care as much about temperature as we do, so there's that. But they have been taking them and some maple syrup in one of those little dipper containers. Remember, I said those are going to be such a clutch investment this spring, the disposable condiment containers with a lid. They put a little bit of maple syrup, they take the pancakes and they dip them. Perfect. You can add in some fruits and vegetables if you want, and you have yourself a super simple meal. You could even warm up some sausage if you wanted. They'd probably eat it cold, but you got to warm it up first. Okay, number 6, crescent roll-ups. I love crescent rolls because you can make them in so many different ways. One of my favorite ways to make them is into pizza roll-ups. So I cut a piece of string cheese in half, and I put half of a string cheese and then a whole bunch of pepperoni, maybe 6 slices per crescent roll. And I roll that up and I cook them just like the directions on the package say, 9 to 11 minutes. And again, you grab out one of those little condiment containers if you want and put some marinara sauce in, and you have yourself some pizza dippers for on the go. So simple and delicious. I'm telling you, you're going to want to make 2 packages of crescent roll pizza roll-ups because your kids are going to fight over them. They're so delicious and so simple. The whole thing takes maybe 15 minutes to put together. Okay, number 7, King's Hawaiian Roll Sliders. This comes from our audience, and so thank you for this tip. I can't remember who shared it with me. So if it's you, thank you. But King's Hawaiian Rolls, I tell you what, are they just not the unsung hero of elevating a sandwich? First of all, when things come pint size, remember I said my kids loved those mini pancake puffs we got at Costco. Anything that's pint sized, my kids think is just awesome. It tastes better, all the things. So, King's Hawaiian Roll sliders. You've heard those with the ham and cheese, and they're baked in the oven, but this time we're just going to use those Hawaiian sliders as a sandwich to elevate the sandwich. Another way you could do this is with Jimmy John's day old bread. You've heard me talk about this before, but if you go to Jimmy John's, go through the drive-through and say, "Do you have any day old bread?" If they do, they'll tell you yes, and it's 50 cents a baguette. I get 3 baguettes for my family, make 6 sandwiches. I even use the paper that it comes in. So honestly, for all intents and purposes, it almost tastes like Jimmy John's for a fraction of the cost. So elevate your sandwiches with King's Hawaiian Rolls or Jimmy John's sandwich bread. That's number 6. Or that's number 7. Just kidding. Number 8. Can we go old school and talk about chicken, tuna, or egg salad? Am I the only one that loves those things? I just do. It's nostalgic for me. I love a good chicken melt, a tuna melt, or an egg salad sandwich. And these are one of those sandwiches that you can make it up ahead. My friend Catherine of Mix and Match Madness, her and I did a Facebook Live back in December, and she said the tweak that made her family's life more simple on purpose all week long is that her husband makes a huge batch of their family's chicken salad on Sunday, and then they eat off of it all week. She eats it with crackers, over lettuce, her kids eat it with bread, but it's just something that they can grab out of the fridge all week long and eat off of for dinner or for lunch. Great idea. And egg salad is the same way, as well as tuna salad. So if you're a fan of that, you can make it ahead and just have it on a busy weeknight. Again, serving it with crackers or on bread or even over lettuce. Number 9 is one of my kids' all-time favorites, and I'm telling you, it's so simple and again, inspired by fast food, and that is the copycat chicken uh, or Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. So I get the Chick-fil-A chicken copycat at Costco. You can get the Bear chicken filet, or the Kirkland brand now has it too, and we like it similarly, and you can save a little bit of money. I just air fry them, the 6 fillets in our air fryer. Grab the brioche buns from Aldi. They're delicious. And then I go ahead and just put the Chick-fil-A or the Chick-fil-A, the chicken filet on the brioche bun. If your family likes pickles, you can add pickles. And then, of course, if you want to add Chick-fil-A sauce, you can. Or again, I like to just put it in those little condiment containers on the side, and then they can dip their Chick-fil-A sandwich. I keep saying Chick-fil-A sandwich, but it's a copycat at wherever they are. So highly recommend. It's my kid's favorite. I always have that on standby in my freezer because honestly, it's just a favorite. So put that on heavy rotation, even once a week. You're going to feel, you could make some waffle fries to go with it, and you're going to feel like you're at Chick-fil-A for a fraction of the cost because these days it costs us well over $60 to go there. And while I love it, I just, you can only have it so much. Okay. Number 10, baked quesadillas. Now, I love quesadillas I love cooking them on a skillet, but it takes some time. But you can make quesadillas in the oven. Just put all of your fixings right on the quesadilla, pop them in the oven, let them cook, and then pull them out, and then you can cut them into triangles and wrap them up. It's perfect to take on the go. Again, this is another one you can make ahead at the beginning of the week. I know I'm not a huge fan of prepping on the weekend, but I'm telling you what, in this season, these recipes, they're not hard to make, and your future self is going to thank you. So baked quesadillas, you could do it with cheese and beans, you could do it with cheese and chicken, you could do it with refried beans and cheese, whatever you want to add. And then again, if you want to use those little condiment containers to add salsa or guacamole or sour cream to dip in, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, in the words of my kids. Number 11. Okay, this is another one that's like so simple, you guys, but my kids literally thought I was genius level smart when I did this. So you get yourself a frozen pizza. And they are called pizza sandwiches. And here is why. You cut that frozen pizza in half. Because frozen pizza on the go is kind of slippery and slidey, but you're going to fold it in half and it's going to become a pizza sandwich. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to cut it into halves or triangles, depending on your kid's appetite. And you're going to wrap that bad boy up and it's going to be a pizza sandwich instead of frozen pizza. Literally because you folded it in half. I'm telling you, it doesn't take much for my kids to think I'm genius level smart, but that is also another one. Okay, number 12. Meat and cheese Lunchables. Friends, Lucille said, we have this question that floats around our house. Like, what would your last meal be? Like, if you had to pick one meal that's your all-time favorite, you know what she said? 10 years old? A Lunchable. Of all the things I make, she would rather have a Lunchable as her most desired meal. Why do we overthink dinner? That is what I want to know. So, meat and cheese Lunchables, your own bento box, charcuterie box, whatever you want to call it. I'm telling you what, if you just want to call one of your nights a charcuterie night and you make a charcuterie box to go, nobody is going to complain. We did that for beach days a couple of days. I just got some cheese, some crackers, some meat, and some fruits and vegetables. And that's what we had on the beach. And everybody was happy and it was so easy. So, meat and cheese Lunchables on the go. Another one is baked tacos. Again, you can go ahead and just make these in the oven. It could even be like almost like a wrap, right? Or a taquito, something like that. You make them in the oven, you wrap them up, you take them with you. So simple baked tacos. You can also do the hard shell ones where you put, all the hard shells in a 913 pan. You add in the meat, the cheese, and then they're just ready to go. You can wrap them up. Think Taco Bell. If Taco Bell can make a way for you to eat tacos on the go, by golly, us moms can do it too. All right. And number 14, pulled pork sliders. Again, that's what Lucille ordered one night when we were away on spring break. I did not realize how much she loves pulled pork sliders. Pull out those King's Hawaiian rolls again, or those Aldi brioche buns, which are delicious, and get yourself some slow cooked pork. Again, this is another great hack. Make a bunch of it on a weekend. We're doing this weekend. My husband's going to smoke a whole bunch of pork, a couple of roasts. He's going to shred it. We're going to keep it in the freezer so we can pull it out, put it in the slow cooker to warm, maybe add a little bit of barbecue sauce, and have slow cooker sandwiches on the go. So simple on purpose. A little bit of upfront is going to just save you this spring if you've not caught on to that. Okay, here are 6 more from our community that I wanted to share with you. Carrie Z79 said, pasta salad. I've seen several people, even humorous homemaking, doing this where she has like a bowl of something, like a salad or a pasta that's cold instead of warm. So a pasta salad. And Carrie Z79 says she likes to use the Trader Joe's chickpeas with cumin and parsley. So there you go. So simple on purpose. 16, Jordan M. Bennett on Instagram says she likes to do Lunchable style pizzas with mini naan breads. You can get those mini naan breads, of course, at Costco. You can get them at any of your local grocery stores. This is perfect. My kids love the Lunchable pizzas, but you could make your own super easy. Again, those condiment containers with the lid coming in clutch here. And all you'd need is a little bit of pizza sauce, pepperoni, cheese, any other toppings you'd want to put on top of your pizza. Great idea, Jordan. K_star33 said burritos, just like Chipotle. Again, be inspired by all the fast food restaurants. If they have figured out a way to make it on the go, so can we. And I thought, of course, burritos. And this is another one that you could make ahead of time. Breakfast burritos, regular burritos. And then if you want a dip to dip it in, then you can just get those condiment containers. I'm just going to go ahead and link those in the show notes because you're probably going to want those. Okay. And then Piper's Puppy Mama, that's the handle, said, of course, pigs in the blanket. Yes. So remember those crescent roll-ups? You can make them turkey and cheese, ham and cheese, pizza. You can also just put a hot dog in it. I like to do half a hot dog because I like, a little more crescent roll with my hot dog. So easy. And just take some ketchup to dip if you want. You don't even need ketchup. Okay, and next one, I can't remember the handle, but soup in a cup. Styrofoam containers, even coffee mugs, like to-go coffee containers would work here, or even thermoses, soup in a cup. Oftentimes, I'm going to track meets where it is cold. It is really cold. And honestly, soup in a cup would sound delicious as I'm sitting there. So don't underestimate making a big crock pot or slow cooker of soup. And some of my favorites are the chicken and wild rice soup and chicken tortilla soup in our cookbooks. Delicious. And take that with you on the road. Some of this might just be going onto Amazon and buying some disposable plates and bowls and condiment containers, and just having them on hand is going to simplify your life and open up the opportunity for other things besides sandwiches. And it's literally just going online, ordering a couple of things that are disposable that you can throw away. And again, I'm all about using reusable, but sometimes in a season that calls for simple, being okay with a disposable item is a-okay. Okay, number 20 is a tortilla roll up. And she said the recipe is cream cheese and ranch seasoning packet. I'm already in. Sounds delicious. Bacon bits, cheddar, and spinach. You mix all of that together and do a little spread across the tortilla, then lay turkey on top of it, roll it up, and you can cut it into little pinwheels. I've had this as an appetizer. I think they call it like Midwest sushi, or at least this is a variation. And it is delicious. You've also heard of like the pickle roll up where it's a pickle, cream cheese, and corned beef, also delicious. And so that would be also a great thing to go. And then the last one, number 20, sub in a tub. And this comes from Sarah D. And she said she was inspired by Jersey Mike's. Again, if the fast food restaurant can do it, so can we, right? And basically a sub in a tub is you just take a bowl and you put all the sub ingredients minus the bread in the tub, maybe a little bit of olive oil, whatever you want to do to mix it up and make it come together, a little bit of seasoning, Italian seasoning, salt and pepper. And you have sub in a tub. Maybe it's banana peppers and pepperoni and salami and turkey and cheese chopped up with a little bit of lettuce and tomato and cucumber, whatever. Just basically think anything you'd put on a Subway sandwich, but you're not going to put it in a sandwich. You're just going to put it in a bowl. You're going to chop it up and eat it. A sub in a tub. And if we get a good name for it, like a sub in a tub, our kids are going to want to eat it. Who doesn't want to eat a sub in a tub, right? You could actually eat it in a bathtub if you wanted. All right, so that is 20. And again, I read those off fast. And if you're anything like me, you're in the car and it's all going to disappear when you get home. So I have a printable with these 20 on-the-go meal ideas. You're going to want to get that in the show notes. And of course, pick up a meal planner. And why don't you just throw in those condiment cups in the cart as well? Because you're going to use those all season long. Okay, let's talk about how we're going to keep things warm and cold on the go. First of all, to keep things warm, everybody always says, but it gets soggy. Here's my number one tip for keeping things from getting soggy. Wrap it in a paper towel first before you wrap it in tin foil. I really try to keep from wrapping my food in tin foil anyway, just for a variety of health reasons. And so this helps in so many different ways. But wrap it in a piece of paper towel, then wrap it in tin foil to keep it warm. Then I like to either put it in a lunchbox or a cooler, and you could even put in like a heating pad, like a rice pad. You know those like people warm up rice, the warmies or whatever. You could even put one of those in if you wanted to for an extended period of time. But I have found just wrapping it in a paper towel to wick away the moisture, wrapping it in tin foil, and then putting it in a cooler or a lunchbox, anything that's insulated keeps it really warm until we eat it, because it's really just probably an hour or two before we eat it anyway. Thermoses work really well too, but that's normally my go-to for keeping things warm. Now, to keep things cold, here's a little tip, because we got to Florida and I was like, darn it, we don't have ice packs. So my husband, being the brainiac engineer that he is, was like, what do we have? How can we make a tweak to make this work? Well, we got in Gatorade for the kids, so we took 2 Gatorade bottles. They drank them. We filled them 2/3 full and put them in the freezer, and those became our ice packs. So when else fails. The other thing that we did was we took a Ziploc bag, because I always take Ziploc bags on vacation. Keep them in your car. They zip closed. They're good for a variety of reasons. But I put water in it, and then I laid it flat in the freezer. And then that way it just became like a thin ice pack that was just basically a Ziploc bag with water inside. So there's another way to keep things cold. Of course, we use reusable ice packs at home, a lunchbox, a cooler, those sorts of things to just help keep things cool. All right. I talked a little bit about prepping ahead of time, things like, making up a whole bunch of pulled pork. If you're going to make tacos for dinner one night, just make 4 pounds of taco meat and divide it up and put it in the freezer. It really doesn't take that much more work or energy to make 2 or 3 or 4 more times of the meat, but you're going to reap the rewards and the benefits far into the future. So I would just say if you're cooking meat, can you double it in this season and then just have it on hand in your freezer? Just mark it. And then, like this week, I didn't have to make taco meat because I had made a whole bunch before spring break. It was such a gift to myself this week. So that's a big thing. You know, if you're making sloppy joes, chicken salad, anything like that where you can eat off of it all week is so helpful. Okay, another thing I like to do every Sunday is to prepare a veggie box. Here's my go-to hack for getting kids to eat more veggies. I pull that veggie box out while I'm cooking dinner. Not only do the kids snack on it, but so do I, and we get more veggies into our diet because we're all a little hungry, we're all a little snacky while we're making dinner, and it's just perfect. So mine has four containers. I usually pick four different veggies. Our big favorites here are broccoli, carrots, cucumbers, colored peppers. My kids don't like green peppers. I don't know why. Tomatoes, trying to think if there's anything. Sometimes I'll get snap peas. And I do a variety. And whatever we have, I put four in there. Carrots. Did I say carrots? Anyway, and then we snack off of it. And you can take that veggie box with you super easy in your cooler, your lunchbox as well. It also helps them when they're packing lunches for the week. They just pull that out, grab whatever veggie they want to take to school with them. If they take it, some are better than others. And it's just ready to go. They don't have to worry about washing things up. It's prepped and ready to go. And I add to it, of course, as the week goes on, as we eat things. But I find we eat way more veggies if I do that and I set it out before dinner, and like I said, we can take it with us. So that's a huge win. Same with fresh produce. I try to wash up a bunch of grapes. And of course, we eat produce in order of perishability, especially when it comes to fruit. So like we eat berries at the beginning of the week. We always get raspberries, strawberries, grapes, apples, bananas. Those are kind of our go-to right now because nothing's really in season. Oh, and mandarin, like little clementine oranges. And we kind of eat based on perishability. So we always start with the berries, go to like the bananas and the grapes, and then we finish the week with the oranges and the apples because those last longer. So there's my tip for that. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to tell you is to stock up on dinner supplies. So I mentioned those condiment cups. Maybe you need some paper plates in this season. I like to have a bunch of paper plates on hand because honestly, sometimes we just need a night with no dishes. We don't have time to clean up or we need a dish on the go. Also, those little containers, maybe that are a bowl with a lid on top, maybe those would be perfect for you. I love when people have those so that they can bring you dinner and you don't have to like return the dish. It's such a treat when like you're going through something and somebody brings you a meal and they're like, just throw it away when you're done. So I love having those on hand for that. Even disposable, the containers that your meat comes in or whatever, just saving those would be great as well for this season too. Okay, and then the last encouragement, my friend Annie says she always loves this piece of the podcast where I say to you, you're doing better than you think. We give ourselves a really hard time for how we feed our family, but we were on the show, oh my gosh, Family Dinner with Andrew Zimmern. It's been, gosh, 3 or 4 years ago. You can look it up. It's on the Magnolia channel. It was with my whole family, and I'll never forget. My mom always has served us canned green beans, and her friends said to us, "You're going to serve Andrew Zimmern, a famous foodie, canned green beans?" And she said, "Yeah, because that's how my grandma served these green beans that we're going to make." Anyway, we told him this story, and he said, "You know what?" He goes, "A fed family is a blessed family." And I just thought that was such a wise statement. When we step back and think about it, with food insecurity at an all-time high, groceries at an all-time high, the fact that we get to feed our families is such a blessing to have full tummies. I brought home a 19-pound baby boy from China who was severely malnourished, and I know the horrible consequences of not being fed well. And all of you are feeding your family extremely well, even if it's just a simple sandwich or macaroni and cheese. We have the blessing of a fed family. So give yourself grace, give yourself just a little bit of a pat on the back and say, you're doing a good job. Don't let other people make you feel bad about what you're doing for your family. And we're all doing the best that we can. And the last encouragement I give you is maybe in this season, you just decide that on Monday nights, it's going to be sandwich night. And on Tuesday nights, we're going to do leftovers. And on Fridays, it's going to always be pizza. Maybe that's the tweak that you need just to make it super simple for feeding your family. And that way you're not overcomplicating it. You can just make it really easy. So maybe you need to just decide that this night is for this meal and just leave it at that, because that might just be the easiest thing that you do for yourself in this season. All right. I hope that this encouraged you. Again, you can grab the printable with the 20 meal ideas for on the go, so you can slide that into your meal planner. Make sure you grab your meal planner on Amazon today and simplify meal planning. And I hope, as always, you take a tweak with you to simplify your week because it can make your life 100 times easier without a whole lot of extra effort. All right, see you next week, friends. Happy eating. If you liked this episode, it would mean so much if you'd share it with a friend or leave a quick rating and review so others can find our show. Until next time, you can find me at Simple Purposeful Living on Instagram and Facebook.